Give yourself the permission to start. If you're looking to create a YouTube channel, or maybe you started a YouTube channel and are looking to get back at it again, well, this video is for you. Nobody likes to feel like they're a failure. Now, I've started a YouTube channel 3 times already. After a while, the results that I'm getting start to make me think if it all was even worth it. But after spending 4 years on this YouTube channel, there's one thing that I've discovered that changed my way about thinking when it comes to content creation. You see, your failed attempts aren't actually failures, and I can prove it in 10 different ways. Before I started this YouTube channel, I had a previous one where I started documenting my journey into passing, or at least to passing, my nursing board exam. The day I stopped uploading was the day that I finally passed. When I did finally come back to revive it and post new content, it just wouldn't pop back off. So I started this one to have a clean start. Now it's performing twice as well. More subscribers, more viewers, and more opportunities. If there's any fundamental secrets that I've heard time and time again when it comes to growing a YouTube channel and an online presence, it's showing up and executing on what you believe you need to do. No more excuses. As a Christian, the Bible gives a lot of wisdom. However, if you read deep enough into the Bible, you'll also know that it says not to be only listeners or hearers of the word, but also doers of it. Now, whether or not you actually believe in God or read the Bible, this very principle I'm about to say next holds true to anybody. It's not enough to know about a particular subject and to read all the articles, watch all the YouTube videos about it, until you actually apply the very thing that you're trying to learn about. The funny thing about growth is that you can improve on what you haven't done at all. And I get it, because I'm guilty of analysis paralysis. I think about, what if I do this? What if I do that? How do I avoid falling on my face and looking up and just thinking that my peers or even my audience finds me cringe, embarrassing, and even just wrong? All I can say is that in the word, it says, the righteous man falls 7 times but rises again. So one of the first things I want to address for a creator trying to start out again, or start at all, is that what if you don't get the views that you want? Is that a failure? Actually, it's not. It's actually market research on yourself. You see, once you start getting onto YouTube or any social platform and start posting about what you think you like or what you think you enjoy or what even you think that your audience likes, you start to actually learn more about yourself. Like, do I actually like the thing that I'm posting content about? Or do I feel a sense of fakeness? Do I not feel authentic? Is this something that actually excites me, or does it take more energy for me to do this thing that I probably don't even enjoy? At this point in the game, you're probably not hiring a YouTube guru to help you figure out the very thing that you want to do. It just comes with trial and error. And hopefully early enough in this journey, you can decide on what path you actually want to take, what niche you actually want to be in, and what you actually want out of this life, and how you can present it online. Initially, on my previous YouTube channel, I talked about nursing questions, and as much as health is important, it's not something that I enjoyed talking about. I already got paid to do that at work, so why spend extra time talking about it and dislike doing it on my off time? Once I finally passed my nursing boards, I then had to move on and really think about, what is it that makes me happy? What is the topic that I continue to have excitement over, that I would have no problem talking about day in and day out, whether or not anybody paid me at all? And for me, that topic is gear for creators, workflow for creators, and even inspiration for creators. I generally am trying to speak to the younger version of myself that probably just finished nursing school and maybe even just passes nursing boards. If anything, I want to talk to the version of me that stopped doing YouTube as soon as I passed. Like, I wish I had just kept going, and that even if I was going to make a pivot, that I wouldn't cut YouTube cold turkey. I want to say I stopped YouTube for about 4 years. Now, if I had kept going, I would have at least 8 years under my belt on YouTube, and I believe so wholeheartedly that I would be ahead of my current journey if I just kept going. But anyway, once we got the idea of what we care about, who we care about, and why, well, then this sets the foundation for the very next thing. One of the simple things that you could do to improve your online presence and even your skill at presenting yourself is just simply posting every single week. If you could do it more frequently than that, That's cool, even better. Now, whether or not you're into gear, you will start to notice, hey, maybe my presentation could have better lighting. Maybe the audio could be better. Maybe the way that I speak could be better. Maybe I could talk more slowly. Maybe I could take more pauses. Maybe I need to talk a little bit quickly. Maybe I need to watch my tones and how I speak and emphasize certain terms or certain phrases. With every single upload, it's not considered a failure if you continue to build on these skills. Unfortunately, we're not always best on camera with the first video, so it may take a couple of tries to really get to where we want to be. In the beginning, I started off with the window light and I would fight with the sun going up and down on cloudy days as well. Now, fortunately, I've been working enough overtime to afford more gear and really feel comfortable with the baseline that I've set for myself in this channel. The audio that I'm using, I have a wireless mic. Camera that I'm using is an ultra-wide lens that allows for zooming. And although it was a challenge in the beginning, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love the process and just being able to put all these videos together. Building on these technical skills are great, but here's something that you'll gain more value out of. This is a huge part about content creation. When it comes to recording your videos, it always seems like there's never a perfect time. Earlier, when I was trying to record off to the side in the park, there were a lot of children screaming, and I'm like, the audio is not gonna be great for this. So I need to relocate, which is why I'm over here and not over there. But perhaps for you, it comes to scheduling. Let's say Monday is the day that your neighbor happens to get a landscaping company mowing their lawn during the time that you want to record. But then on Tuesday, when you try to record your video again, your parents ask you to do a couple errands that end up taking up the rest of your day after work. And just when you think on Wednesday you're actually gonna get this work done, your friends call you up to play pickleball and you just throw your assignment to the wayside. Things happen in life and that's totally okay, especially if you're a parent. Then your priorities are pretty much made for you. Or even if you're married, you can't forget the Mrs. or Mr. either. But one of the things that has helped me when it comes to making these videos and setting time for them is paying more attention to my calendar. I made it a habit at the start of my day and throughout the day, I would continuously look at my calendar and just keep it open and block the time after work and on my off days to sit down and record. Now, although I do this for myself, I also make it a point to communicate these things to whoever I'm spending time with that day, especially my spouse, so that she knows what my intentions are later on after work or when I'm off the day after, so that there's no confusion and that we still get to have our time together and I still get to have my work done. Now, 4 years ago, I tried to make it a point that I upload every single week. But if you can only do like every other week or every 3 weeks or once a month, then do what you can. And when you think that you have more time, then try to push for it. Sometimes we just don't know what we're made of until we challenge ourselves. And speaking of what other people don't know, here's a perspective shift for you. Now, if you're starting your channel all over again, you might feel a little bit intimidated about past audience or maybe a new audience. But here's the thing, they don't know that you're just coming back from a hiatus. The only thing that they really care about, if your content provides the value that they are looking for. And can you continue to provide that value that they already had from you and keep that going? Now, one of the reasons why my other channel failed was because I failed my audience. You see, that channel was started around the idea of my nursing board exams or the nursing board exams and telling other people how I passed it or how I eventually passed it and how they could repeat that very process. However, once I finally did pass and I started to upload new content onto that channel that had nothing to do with passing the nursing board exams, then the viewerships went down, the subscribers went down, the channel just wasn't doing good. It wasn't an algorithm problem, it was a service problem. I was delivering a service to my audience as to helping them with their nursing board exams. And since I failed to deliver that content, it was just a no-no. Now, the channel when I had passed was at 500 subscribers. And when I finally came back to it, it was at 5,000 subscribers. So literally 10x, is that right? 10x in growth. But yeah, so now before I post any content, I try to make sure, is this idea something that my audience cares about? Now here's something that's gonna help you overcome the next perspective that I was struggling with a lot when I was first starting, which is dealing with imposter syndrome. Now, I'm filming this at sunset, so I'm actually gonna film this back in the studio. So we'll finish this there. In the beginning, it was so easy for me to compare myself to bigger YouTube channels and that audience, especially when I was thinking that that audience probably knows much more, or if not just as much as I do. Who am I to create this piece of content that has been recreated many times? When I had a call with 3 million subscriber creator Matt D'Avella, I told him about my insecurity about making beginner content and my imposter syndrome. I was thinking so much about negative comments, but he told me not to worry about those people because at the end of the day, I'm not creating content for that type of person. I'm creating content for beginners, not professionals. So when it came to social media and competing with others, there actually is no competition. The other creators will be focusing on different parts of the audience journey. The later stages, the stages that relate around the areas of where that creator is particularly at. While I focus on the beginning, and there are beginners starting every day when it comes to content creation. It's been said before that when the student is ready, the master appears. It's not about competition, it's not about knowing it all, it's just showing up and learning from those who have gone before you to serve the audience that you can serve today. And once you understand your place in serving beginners or anybody else who you are particularly talking to, you realize something powerful about your journey. And it's that you'll have better perspective. You've watched other creators succeed and fail. You've seen what works and what doesn't work in your niche, as well as your workflow. You understand this game better now than when you first started. And overall, your perspective will be more to you now than it would have been when you started a course with zero experience. At the time of this video, I believe I'm at 13,000 subscribers. So nowhere near 100,000 subscribers. But I do have 4 years of momentum and hundreds of videos ahead of many of my peers who joined YouTube courses and have stopped. I have more authority about content creation from all my trials and errors. A lot of trials, and that's a lot of errors. But it's still a win as long as I keep showing up and making improvements. This perspective will also change what you're actually creating for, because your standards will be higher. Your first attempt at growing on social media may be surrounded about the idea of getting famous. After putting the work into this thing, you're probably thinking that that's much harder than it actually seems. And now that you have a better idea of what it takes to post the content that you want and the kind of content that your audience wants, now it's no longer just about fame or even money. Perhaps it's about building a skill, connecting with people, or creating something meaningful. I asked myself at the beginning of this 4-year journey, I didn't know what would come of it. All I said was that I wanted to post a video every single week and that I wanted to improve on this video crafting, really hone in on my audio, lighting, and all that good stuff. And while going through this journey, I've continually asked myself if I should quit or not. I still wasn't achieving the results that I was hoping for, but I also realized that I'll never get those results if I actually do quit. If a break is needed, then take a break. But I often go back to remembering why I even started. What was the dream? I wanted this to be my career. And in this career, there are people to serve. The better I serve them and provide value to them, the better my career will be. So serve first. Once you finally understand the standards that you have to meet, you'll look at your data differently as well, because you won't always be starting from zero. Now, you've probably heard of the term of living from paycheck to paycheck. And when it comes to YouTube content creation, it's like you live from video to video. Now, whether you're starting a new channel or if you've had an old channel that only had like 12 subscribers, you've learned what it takes to upload, edit, write titles, create thumbnails, and all that fun stuff. You start to understand the platform a little bit more than when you first started. So when you start from zero, you're only doing it once. Every time that you come back to this platform or any platform, you'll be starting from experience. The more that you upload, the more data that you get back about your content. Although it feels like we only live from video to video and start from 0 to 0, that's actually not what's going on. Because every time we post, it's actually data compounding on data, compounding on data. The thing is, are we responding to that data the way we could be. I started to grow my channel when I continued to make similar kinds of videos. Camera setup guides, lists of camera-specific accessories, and camera comparisons. These may not be the only videos that I'll be making, but I'll get to find out what else my audience values by creating it myself, whether I get the research data from my own channel or from someone else's. And that experience will give you something powerful to share. You'll have stories to tell, and people love stories. Your journey of stopping and starting again, that itself is part of your brand that you can weave into your videos or whatever you create. Your failures, lessons you learn, perspective shifts, these will be stories that connect with people going through the same thing or who aspire to be where you are and beyond. I often find myself encouraging others around me to get started and to keep going when it comes to chasing their dreams, or at least attempt it without regret. The more I continue in this journey, the more I assume the identity of a content creator, an artist, an entrepreneur. I went to school for nursing. I didn't picture myself as a business person. But at the same time, when I create these videos, it's not just a video. Every time I create, it really shows who I am, what I'm about, and how I even want to change the world. It's been said before that if you want to know what your calling is, you got to think about the things that really make you upset. And for a long time, I cringed at poor photo and video quality in my church. So instead of just complaining or grumbling under my breath, I took photos and videos myself. And fortunately, the church benefits from it, and they love it. And in a similar way, I can take that same passion and bring it out through YouTube to educate other people and to let them put out their creative vision into the world. Because I believe that gear shouldn't stop them when it comes to making the world a beautiful place. And for this channel, visually. So here's how I think about this entire process. You only need to do two things. The first thing is to start your journey. Start creating and start posting. It's one of the hardest things that you're probably going to be doing. And the second thing that you'll be doing is not quitting. As long as you don't quit, you can't fail. You may fall, but you can keep getting back up. Back when I joined my first YouTube course ever by Ali Abdaal, he said to us that if we continue to post a video every week for the next 2 to 3 years, our lives would change. Since then, my experiences have changed me, and they've given me more confidence in this space and have made my dreams more tangible than when I first started. I may not be where I want to be, but I thank God that I'm way ahead from where I first started. I dream and believe in getting paid for doing content creation full time, to be financially independent, and one day buy a home. And for me, starting and having restarted this YouTube journey is the way I believe I can get there. So here's the permission that you've been waiting for. Go ahead and start. And start again if you're coming back. Every successful creator is just someone who also gave themselves permission to start and to start again until something just stuck. Falling forward on the way up and not falling down to failure. Although the idea of failure hurts and it's embarrassing, but I tell you that rising is more important than never falling. And every fall is actually a step forward. And if you're looking for a tool that'll help you go forward and stay consistent on YouTube, watch this video over here.